Hello, welcome to Dungeon Rolls Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're reviewing Hell Yeah, Volume 1, Last Day on Earth, which is written by Joe Keatinge. How do you pronounce it? It has an E at the end. Oh my god. Joe Keatinge with art by Andre Szymanowicz. And yeah, this has an introduction by Madman Author, right? What's his name? Mike Allred, which I did not read it. I'm not exactly sure when this came out. It came out in 2012. Okay, 2012. I looked this up online, and apparently it was getting a lot of comparisons to Kick-Ass, and I'm like, what the hell? Did Image make a Kick-Ass ripoff? And Mark Millar also, I think wrote something about this book, right? And if I was Mark Millar, I would have been like, dude, I would have been like to Image, dude, you're gonna fucking make a Kick-Ass ripoff? Like, what the fuck? But reading this book, this has nothing to do with Image. This book collects issues 1 through 5. I paid $13 for this. It's $10 US, right? So this book, right, is basically about it's hard to explain because a lot happens in this book. You know, somebody's hoping that this book gets turned into a movie by how fast paced the fucking story is. The book is about basically you have this guy named Benjamin Day, who is the son of Daniel Day, who was this soldier in Kuwait or something, who after getting his squad getting annihilated by the Iraqis or whoever, or gets gets tortured by the Taliban or whatever army it's supposed to be, and gets rescued by superheroes, right? And since then, people are getting born with superpowers and that. So this is basically the first generation of super heroes, right? And this character is in college to become a superhero, right? And he's kind of considered a famous person because of who his dad is, and his mom is a superhero, one of the superheroes that showed up that day. So what goes on is that he's kind of a troubled kid. He gets into lots of fights, right? And there's you see him. Oh, this book takes place in Portland, Oregon, right? And you see his dean, and his dean is Dean Stockwell. Dean Stockwell, who is an actor who was in Quantum Leap and the Battlestar Galactica TV series from 2004, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? They have Dean Stockwell here, and there's this other character. My dog's barking because I almost forgot to do this review because I had company from out of town, and my dog's still excited from that, right? So yeah, Dean Stockwell's here, lecturing him on who his parents are, and we have high hopes for you, blah blah blah, right? This is flashback to what his dad went through. So yeah, he's best friends with this girl, right? Who, yeah, and they're at an all-female punk rock show, which the book is named after an all-female punk rock band. These girls, right, who have different superpowers, and what happens is he gets visited. He goes to school. There's an explosion, and he gets visited by these 3 girls, right? These 3 girls, and you see a flashback to Portland, Oregon, from their world. They're from an alternate. Okay, I'll just spoil the whole thing, not the whole thing, but the premise. So these three girls are from Portland, Oregon, and she is from an alternate reality, right? A different Portland, Oregon, and she was the leader of this band, a punk rock, all-female punk rock band, and they all have superpowers, right? Her powers are random. Like, she turns into a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Her powers, she can shoot lasers out of her hand, and her powers are... Her name is Die Die Die, and she can punch really hard, right? So what happens is her boyfriend gets killed by some stranger, and she's following her boyfriend around, and her boyfriend was meeting other versions of himself, right? So, like, I'll show you. And her boyfriend is another version of Benjamin Day, right? So there's Benjamin Day kicking the ass of some supervillain. There he is, right? Man, my dog just had to start barking, right? Here's the scene where the Benjamin Days get killed by this assassin, and like I said, it's super gory, right? So basically, she's explaining all this to this other alternate reality Benjamin Day, our Benjamin Day, and how they want to protect him from whoever killed her boyfriend from the alternate reality, and it just gets fucking nuts after this, right? Because they introduce this guy who may or may not be an older version of Benjamin Day. We're not 100% sure. He has the same powers, which Benjamin Day's powers is... he's basically like Luke Cage, where he's not exactly super strong, but he's stronger. He's about like, he's stronger than most people, and like, he's super tough, right? And this character polices alternate realities. So like, if people from alternate realities show up on this Earth, his job is to detain them, right? So you see, like, a new group of Benjamin Days show up. You got the Jack Kirby superhero one. You got like this cowboy one, and you got this Mxyzptlk one. Who Mxyzptlk was a character from Superman, who was from the fifth dimension, who could do anything. And then you have this lesbian Benjamin Day, who's called Benoit, and you got like this cable version of Benjamin Day, who they all get killed except for the lesbian one, of course, right? You see the guy who's the alternate reality police knocks off Jack Kirby, Benjamin Day's jaw off. Yeah. Yeah, you get this chick's backstory, and that they want to kill Benjamin Day from this Earth because he's going to become, so you see, like, her family, she's a lesbian. Of course, lots of books with lesbians nowadays. Yeah, super gory, right? Yeah, so I'm not going to spoil the book. But, like, yeah, there's something weird going on with Benjamin Day. And you even see her kids grew up to try to rescue her. And, like, he one-shots the boy, and the sister surrenders, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to... I'll spoil this, because this was interesting. So, like, yeah, the assassin turns out to be his mom, who's, like, from basically, they don't explain it, but, like, she's basically, might be an alien. The superheroes that showed up to Earth might be an alien, or from, like, some alternate reality Earth. Well, it's not, they don't actually explain it. So, like, at the end of the book, there's a time skip, and then Benjamin Day becomes this new becomes this guy who hunts like rogue Benjamin Days. So it's like, what the fuck? So like, yeah, on the cover is a bit of a gaslight or like or clickbait, because like you never see him wear the mask and wield the sword until like the very end of the book, right? Where the mask was given to him by the girl because the mask belonged to her boyfriend, right? And he doesn't wield a sword until like the end of the book. He doesn't even fight, basically, except for like small fist fights here or there. So like the book, my major problem with the book is like, yeah, it's cool that there was swearing, ultra violence, right? But my problem with the book is that, you know, the pacing was too fast for the pacing for the story was too fast. We didn't really get to know what's going on with the characters, right? They introduced too many characters, and we never got time to get to know them. So we get them put in these life or death situations, we kind of don't care, because it's like we don't even know what the fuck is going on, right? So they should have, this book, that's the thing with comic books and manga, is like manga has a way slower pace, and then you get to know the characters first. Like this should have been like, you know, a 12 issue, this should have been stretched to like the 12 issues or 18 issues, but it's like it has this breakneck speed, and it gives it like this punk rock kind of like feel to it, attitude with the story. Because like reading it kind of reminded me of like Alex Cox like movies from the 80s, right? He's like this punk rock director. So like, yeah, depending on like how you feel about the setting and the like overall tone of this book, you might enjoy it. But I thought it was just too much. Too quick, and like you barely get to see the star of the story. That's the problem with the book, is that you don't really get to see like any action with the main character. It's most of the action in this book is with side characters, and I'm not a huge fan of that, because like the main character gets like pushed to the sidelines, right? In favor for getting things going, and it's like, that's dumb, man. Because then like it's like you don't really give a shit about the character at that point, when you really didn't really get to know him, and like he's not really doing anything. He's like passive. All this like shit's going on, and like he's not really doing anything, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to recommend this, but I kind of liked this book, but it's kind of like they didn't flesh it out, and that's my major problem with the book. But for the action and the art, and it has this kind of manga-ish art, I'll give this like a 6.5 out of 10. So for Monday, our next review is going to be JSA All Stars, which is a Geoff Johns book, and then after that we'll figure it out. Because I really do not want to read like a Nick Spencer book again. So I don't know. We might review another Avengers book. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because I have a few Avengers books, and I have like a Captain Marvel book. But it's from like Civil War. It's like a Civil War tie-in. So it might be good. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, guys. Who was Captain Marvel like with during like the first Civil War? I don't even remember. So that's it for this review, guys. Peace. Look forward to